In this video, we're going to look at a couple of different types of tags that you're going to use frequently in your HTML code. And one of them is a link. And a link could be a link to a different part of the same page. So it could be like an anchor point that brings the page to a certain part of your HTML page. Or it could be a link to an external site, or it could be a link to an internal resource. So in our courses, we'll often have an interactive that will be launched when you click on some text. To make a link, it's very simple. You use the less than sign to open the tag, and you put A. So an A tag means it's some sort of link. And then the most important thing that you need to put in your A tag is href. And href equals, and in these quotation marks, this is the place where you want it to go. So if I want to create some sort of link there, all I'd have to do is just grab the URL from the website that I want, and I would just add it to this. So let's say we want to go to Google. Right? I can just grab this URL and then paste that in there. And I'll use the greater than sign to close the tag. And just like any other tag, I also have to close the tag. So I'll go less than, I'll hit the backslash, and then put an A, and then greater than. And what this does is this creates a link. Now, the problem is there's nothing in this link to click on. So we could put some text if we wanted to. Here's Google. And in fact, let's just try this and see what it does. So if I go back into this HTML page that we were working in earlier, and I'll just create that, that link again. So I put A, href equals, and then in quotation marks, https // www.google.ca. And then I close the opening of the tag, and I close the tag with a \A, and I think I had in here, here's Google. Now let's save this, and then preview in browser, and you can see this is the div that we formatted in the other video with CSS. And you can see here, I didn't specify any particular CSS rules for this link, but there are some built-in formatting in HTML, and a link is one of them. And so basically it's a blue color for the text. When you the mouse cursor's over it, there's an underline and it gets a little bit darker. And then when I click on it, it has this behavior and it brings us to Google. So that's a link. You can even add some more to this A tag. So right now, this is opening the link in the same page that called it. So when I click on here's Google, the Google page replaces what was already there. But let's say I want to keep this page and I just want the Google to open up in a separate window. I can use the attribute target and then equals and in quotation marks. If I put underscore blank, that will open Google in a new tab. So let's save all that. Preview in browser, and I click on it, and you can see it opens in a new tab, and the other one is still here. Another really important tag that you're going to use a lot is the image tag. And an image tag is a way of embedding an image into your HTML page. And so you open that just like you would open any other tag, and you put img. And then there are a couple important attributes you have to put in here. First of all, you have to tell it where to find the picture. And you do that with source. So src is how you search for the source. So src represents source. You have equals, and then in quotation marks, you're going to put the source of the image. Now in our courses, all of our images are in the underscore images folder. And then I put slash, and I'm going to put the name of the image. So let's see if I have an image in here that I can use. So you can see this is my images folder for this particular activity. And I have something called mail3.jpg. And so I'm going to put that in there, and we'll just kind of see what that looks like. So mail3.jpg. And we'll Save that and preview it. And you can see here's our image, and boy howdy, it's really big. So we can make some changes to that. Now, one really important change we have to make is we have to put an alt tag in for this. So this is for AODA compliance. So it's basically text describing the image, and you put the attribute alt. So alt equals, and then in quotation marks, you're going to put this is an image of a smiling man. So ideally, your alt tag is descriptive of the image and also gives some context to why you're using the image. So this will probably do. But that's how you do the alt tag. And then the other thing you can do is you can set the size of the image actually in this tag. So you can select height and then equals and in quotation marks. And here you're just going to put, let's say, 150. So that it's measured in pixels. You don't have to put px at the end of it here. You can just put 150. And so that's 150 pixels. Now it's a good idea to also set the width. Some browsers will just scale it so that the aspect ratio is maintained, but there are some that don't, and it will just kind of stretch out the image if I don't do this. So I'm going to set the width to 150 here. And now let's see how this changes things. And so here you can see now that the image is 150 pixels wide by 150 pixels tall. Now this is where it gets kind of cool, because an A tag or a link doesn't just have to be text. It could also be an image. So if I wanted to take this image of the smiling dude and I wanted to make him the link to go to Google, I could grab this image tag and I cut it and just go inside of this A tag. So here's the beginning of the A tag. Here's the beginning of the link tag. And inside of that, I'm going to paste my image. And now the image is a link. So I can get rid of the text because I don't want that anymore. You can see that when I cursor over that, my cursor turns into this little pointy hand thing, which is kind of the universal, oh, you can click on this. And when I click on this, it opens Google. So this is a very cool thing because it opens up a lot of different options for you, especially if you're building interfaces for elementary, JK, and you really want to make links simple and easy to understand. You could use images instead of using text. So that's how you create a link. And in later videos, I'll show you how to link directly to specific tools or to specific pages in your VLE so that you can really direct your users to go where you want them to be able to go. But first, in the next video, we're going to look at something called an iframe because it's something else you're going to use a lot and it's very, very useful. So we're going to take a look at iframes in the next video.